Good afternoon, everyone. In today's video, we are going to be looking at the new winter storm that is going to impact the Midwest and the Southeast just a couple of days after Winter Storm Finn. So this will be Winter Storm Jerry, which could be even bigger than the first Winter Storm Finn, which could be even bigger than Winter Storm Finn late this week into the weekend. Now we are looking at the latest GFS model. This is the 12Z run, and as you can see right now, we have some snow out west, and this is impacting portions of North California, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington. Idaho also seeing some snow as well. This is the storm that's going to move eastward and continue to develop throughout today. This is when we will start to see some snow hovering over Nebraska, Colorado, and this low pressure makes a southeastern movement down into Oklahoma and Texas. This will be late tomorrow, Thursday, and then we move forward. You can start to see that snow start to develop over Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, and northern Missouri. This is when we'll start to see some storms start to pop up as well late Thursday, and then we head throughout the overnight hours. You can see some storms start to pop up throughout those overnight hours on Thursday into Friday, and then heavy snow really starts to ramp up here as we head into the early morning hours of Friday across areas like southeastern Iowa and northern Illinois. Potentially some ice with this as well, some freezing rain across some areas. I wouldn't be surprised. Nothing significant, but definitely freezing rain is a factor with this. As you can see, those storms really start to ramp up throughout the morning hours of Friday as well, with heavy snowfall continuing over northern Illinois, now Wisconsin, and that backside of snow is kind of forming, and that'll bring even more snow accumulation across Missouri. But as you can see, it kind of has that same factor of the recent winter storm, where it does have that warm air escaping up north, and that's going to bring rainfall and might diminish that snowfall accumulation with that those warmer air temperatures, which will lead to that rainfall, which will melt the snow. So again, this could be a situation where we really don't know where the areas are going to see the most snowfall because of that rainfall really close to that heavy snowfall area. But as you can see, you're going to see a mix of that heavy snowfall, and if you do get accumulated snowfall, it's going to be very wet snowfall. Again, kind of the same storm that's going to be going on here throughout late this week into this weekend. We do have that severe thunderstorm threat throughout Friday and Saturday, throughout late overnight hours Thursday into Friday, throughout the southern states. As you can see, some heavy snowfall will continue throughout northern Illinois, Iowa, and even a little bit of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Snowfall will continue. Will start around the afternoon hours of Friday, and this is when this low pressure really starts to go northeast, bring some really heavy snowfall to Michigan. This is when a lot of that accumulation will occur after that a lot of that rainfall moves to the east, and that backside of snow starts to move into Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, and then Michigan will see a lot of that snowfall, as you're not seeing much warm air making it that far north. But this is looking like a very strong storm. You can see a lot of those isobars are really tied up, and that means this is going to be a very windy storm and a very powerful storm. You can see here with some of these isobars, 988, 982, 980 near the center, and 975 of the pressure of that low pressure system, which is pretty low. This will be a strong storm, especially as it heads northeast, and this pressure even gets lower as it continues northeast, where we start to see that kind of heavy snowfall and heavy rain mix go throughout the northeast. And I believe the northeast is not going to see much snow from this, as well as you are going to see that warm air go up with that snowfall and rainfall, and you're going to see some snow accumulation probably, but then you'll see rain right after, and that'll just melt the snow as it's coming down. Here is the Euro run. This is the 12Z run, just the same as GFS, but the Euro model. And as you can see, it has a lot of the snowfall start to develop around the overnight hours of Friday into Saturday, of Thursday, overnight Thursday into Friday across Iowa, Missouri, and those storms really start to develop throughout those overnight hours of Thursday into Friday. You can see a line of storms really shows up here throughout the Euro model. And again, it's going to be kind of the same severe weather situation down south as well. You're going to continue to see that heavy snowfall has pretty much the same situation as the GFS model in pretty much the same areas of what I'm seeing. Euro model is pretty much agreeing with the GFS. I believe it has a little bit further south of a low pressure, but not by much. As you can see, a lot of heavy snowfall still has those same areas in Michigan, northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin. We'll see a lot of heavy snowfall, and it has the same situation for the Northeast, where we are going to see that heavy snowfall at the front. But then the warm air comes up north with it, with rain as well, and so you're not going to see a lot of accumulation wise in across the New England areas and areas like Pennsylvania, New York. You're not going to see a lot of accumulation, but you are going to see a potential for freezing rain, and still again a lot of mix with this storm as well, as you are definitely seeing a lot of mix throughout this Euro run. And again, it's going to be very similar to the storm we just had across these same areas. Here's the total snowfall from the Euro model, and as you can see, like I said, if you don't have rain in the Northeast after that snow, you could potentially see upwards of 8 inches. But again, you're going to see rain, which is going to melt that snow right after it accumulates. So Northeast is kind of an unfortunate situation, especially if you like snow. But if you don't like snow and you need to travel, you will like this storm, since that rain is going to come in and melt that snow right after it drops. But as you can see, the Midwest wise, most of Iowa could see upwards of 4 to 6 inches of snow, depending on that rain and snow ratio. Missouri, not going to see much. Again, you're going to see mainly mixed with this, so maybe up to 4 inches if you're lucky. Eastern Nebraska, 4 inches of snow, and then northern Illinois starting to see more of that snowfall. This is where the areas I don't think you're going to see much of a mix of rain, so you're going to see another foot of snowfall on top of what you already have, if that snow from a couple days ago hasn't already melted. Southern Wisconsin could see upwards of 8 to 10 inches of snow. And then talking about northern Indiana, again, maybe up towards of a foot of snow from this storm. Michigan, gonna see the heart of this snow. You're gonna see upwards of 16 inches of snow in most of central Michigan, especially near the Holland, Michigan area, maybe seeing upwards of 20 inches of snow from this storm. So again, mainly this area is seeing the hardest snowfall. But let's go ahead and take a look here at the GFS and see what it has to say. Now, the GFS model has a very similar situation, but a bit more snowfall, especially for northern Illinois and Missouri and a little bit of eastern Iowa. Northern Illinois, according to the GFS model, has a lot, talking upwards of 20 inches of snow. Northern Missouri is seeing in upwards of 10 inches of snow. Most of eastern Iowa, even southern portions of Iowa, could see upwards of 8 to 10 inches. And then southern Wisconsin, especially in the Milwaukee area, over a foot of snowfall possible, according to the GFS model. So if you kind of combine the Euro model and GFS, you're going to have an idea of what some of these areas will see snowfall wise. But Green Bay is seeing upwards of 10 inches of snow as well. And again, we're not really accounting for the Northeast because of that rainfall coming right after that snowfall. You're not going to see a lot of accumulation, I assume, with that rainfall snowfall mix. And you literally just saw that situation happen just a couple of days ago. So it's again the same situation with the snowfall first and then the rainfall after. For the Northeast, it's literally the same storm, deja vu, all over again. But as you can see, northern Illinois is seeing upwards of 18 to 20 inches of snow. Chicago, upwards of a foot, even over a foot of snowfall. I wouldn't be surprised for the Chicago area. As you can see, with those freezing rain accumulations, there's really not much, but maybe in some areas there is a potential for freezing rain. In Missouri, definitely not much, nothing significant. But again, freezing rain is a potential for a short period of time across Missouri and maybe a little bit of Illinois. But again, it's nothing significant. Also some freezing rain possible with that rain and snow mix across the Northeast. But again, nothing significant. And I would just mainly be cautious for the potential of freezing rain across some areas with this storm, but nothing significant. With this storm comes very cold temperatures. As you can see, after this storm enters this area, we're going to see an Arctic blast go with this storm and bring potentially negative temperatures for overnight. Kansas City, Kansas City will see some very cold temperatures, especially for the wild card game going on there. As you can see, around when the game starts is going to be around -2 degrees air temperature, so not your feels like. We can even look at wind chill, but wind chill when the game starts, it's -17. It's going to be very cold in Kansas City. As you can see across Illinois with these wind chill values, -30, Iowa -40 with some of those wind chills late Sunday. Around midday, it's going to be still very chilly, very frigid across these areas. Look across the north and upwards of -40 degrees wind chills. So this is your kind of feels like temperature across these areas. Northeast seeing single digits as well. And this Arctic blast goes pretty far south. As you can see, some even Texas seeing very cold temperatures. Feels like of negative single digits. And then it's gonna be very chilly in Texas, especially for a day or two before that lets up. And finally around Wednesday or so, about Wednesday, it finally gets a little bit warmer in Texas with 50s. But definitely Texas will be very cold, especially for Monday. Definitely be aware of that if you're in Texas and places like Arkansas and Oklahoma. You are going to see again negatives for those wind chills for your Monday. If you did enjoy the forecast, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new and like the video. I'd very much appreciate it. Share this with any friends or family that may be impacted by this winter storm or even Arctic blast. But as always, I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.